Hello, I am Al-Mansor HELAL from Brack University Institute of Educational Development. So I'm going to talk about the primary school governance and the related provisions inserted in the National Education Policy 2010. So the sole purpose of this paper is to examine the effectiveness of the provisions relating to primary school governance in the policy. So let's have a look. So first of all, I will be having a look on the very provisions relating to primary school governance and their reality and their effectiveness. And secondly, I will have a look on the suggestions, policy suggestions. So actually, what policies should be taken so we can overcome these problems. So first of all, the first issue is the state of relationship between head teacher and school management committee, or SMC. So two very important and significant stakeholders of the primary school governance. So first of all, let's have a look what does the policy say in this regard. First of all, it's annual evaluation. The annual evaluation of the assistant teachers and entire school performance should be made by the head teacher, and another report of the head teacher, the performance of the head teacher, should be made by the SMC people. So there are two reports, two kinds of reports. One should be made by the head teacher, another should be made by the SMC people. And second provision in this regard is supervision. The head teacher, the SMC people have every right, as given by the policy, to supervise the classes of the teachers, to supervise are the teachers coming on time, leaving the school premise on time, are the teachers using lesson plans, are the teachers using materials in the classroom. So all these things SMC people can supervise. So these are the things told in the policy. So let's have a look on the reality, what happened, what we found in our research, in our primary observation. So first of all, we found the SMC people are not quite interested to supervise the school, are not quite interested to go into the classrooms. We tried to find out why they are not that much interested to go into the classroom, to go into the school premise. So we found out that the SMC people are not quite trained up. They do not have any proper training on the supervision, on their responsibility, on their jurisdiction of responsibility. They do not know how to supervise. They do not know what to supervise. They do not know the jurisdiction of their responsibility. They do not know how to actually compel the head teacher and other teachers to follow the instructions given by the government. Second reason we found is lack of proper authority. The SMC people are not feeling quite authorized, are not feeling quite empowered. They do not have any legal status by the constitution or by the government. They do not have any legal recognition by the government or by the constitution. So this is why they do not feel that much empowered. This is another reason for being less interested in supervising the school. And third reason, we found that there are pretty less number of SMC meeting being held in the school. Both parties, SMC people and head teacher, are not that much interested in holding meetings, SMC meetings. And another, though it seems maudlin, but it's quite important, that the SMC people do not have any specific room, specific space or a specific seat to sit in the school. So whenever they come into the school, they do not find any specific room to sit. Then they feel like, what kind of authority we are in this school. So they do not feel that much valued to go into the school. So this is all about the first issue. The second issue, before going to the second issue, let's let's have a look on the primary data we found in regard of the percentage of SMC meeting held in the last 6 months. We have found that in 90% schools, in out of all schools we visited, in 90% schools in last 6 months, no SMC meeting held. No SMC meeting held, and only in 10% schools few SMC meetings held. The second issue is transparency and accountability, the very important and significant part of school governance. So we have found in this case huge misgovernance, and let's have a look on the forms of the misgovernance. First of all is irregular attendance of teachers. Irregular attendance of teachers, late arrival and early departure of the teachers is pretty common. Second thing is selection and distribution of stipend money. Money is coming from the government, money is coming from local political leaders, money is coming from local government body, money is coming from local donors, but in terms of distribution and selection there are questions. But teachers or the head teacher is not quite open to the people, to the SMC people in this regard. So there are questions. Third thing, we find monitoring and supervision. There are problems in regard of monitoring and supervision. So this is another form of misgovernance. And fourth thing, we find private tuition. The most important thing. The teachers are putting more importance on private tuition than on their regular classes. They do not feel that much interested to teach the students in the classroom, to give the students more time in the classroom. They feel super interested to teach the kids at a private place, privately, for extra money. So this is another form of misgovernance. So why actually this misgovernance is happening? So first of all, is lack of check and balance. We find here the stakeholders, the triad in regard of primary school governance, the three basic or fundamental stakeholders: head teacher, school management committee, and education office or education officers. These three fundamental stakeholders. So we find there is no check and balance, there is no coordination in these three bodies. So first of all, head teacher is playing the role. SMC people are not coming or checking because they do not have any legal framework to do this. And third thing, the education officers, what they do is they come to the school frequently, though they come to the school once in 2 or 3 months, though they are supposed to come to the school and visit school once in a month, once in every month, and write the report, make the report every month. But what they do is they come to the school once in 2 or 3 months and make the reports of all these 3 months together simultaneously, and the strength of the report depends on the relationship between education officer and the head teacher. So almost all the head teachers we have found have good relationship, they maintain very good relationship with the education officer, so they have a very good report by the education office. So there is no check and balance here in terms of governance here. So there's no one to raise question, so there's no one to complain. Even if the SMC people find any problem, they cannot raise any question, because to whom they will raise question, because education office isn't calling them. there's no actually strong connection between these three bodies. SMC people are not being called by the education office. They are not called in the meeting between head teacher and the education office. Education office is not cross-checking the reports made by head teacher by any other body. SMC people is the very primary body of the primary school, very primary stakeholder of the primary school, but they are not being called by the education office in this regard to cross-check. So whatever the head teacher is writing in the report is correct. So in the primary finding, we have found that the percentage of SMC members supervised in the last 6 months is, we found 1 to 5 times in the last 6 months. We found 30% of the SMC people have supervised the school in the last 6 months, and a very large number, 65% of the SMC people did not visit the school, did not go into supervision in the last 6 months, and 15% of them have visited for several times. So let's have a look on the third issue. It is role of PTA. PTA means Parent Teachers Association, another very important provision brought by Education Policy 2010. So what does the policy say? Policy says there should be regular meeting of the parents. In the regular meeting, the teachers will show the result updates of their of the students to their parents. The teachers will show the updates of the developmental activities of the school to the parents. The teachers will give feedback to the parents, and at the same time the parents can raise any sort of questions to the teachers. Okay, so this is the thing about Parents Teachers Association meeting. Okay, so teachers should be at the same time pretty much open to answer, to reply any sort of question raised by the parents. So what happens in reality is the teachers are highly reluctant in holding such meeting, in making the parents aware of the meeting. We found that almost all the parents that we have met are unknown about this sort of association, this sort of meeting. No parents knows this sort of association is existing. Parents Teacher Association or such meetings are supposed to be held. They do not know about it. They have no idea about it. And we have found the teachers that are highly reluctant in this case. And another thing is that the teachers in their reports are writing that such meetings are happening, such meetings are being held, but problem is there is no other body to check. There's no other body to check. Okay, so whatever the teachers are writing in their report is correct. So in our primary data, we have found that in the last 6 months the percentage of PTA meeting held is that no PTA meeting held in the schools we have visited in the last 6 months. No PTA meeting. The last issue that I want to talk about is external supervision. External supervision is mainly held by the education office, by the education officers. They come in the policy. It is written that the education officers are supposed to come to the school without any prior notice and supervise and make reports. But what happens is they come with a prior notice, and then they come once in 2 or 3 months, and they make reports mainly based on some fake information given by the head teacher. There's no check because they do not call SMC people or PTA to check what head teacher is saying are right or wrong. So this is why external supervision is also being questioned. And most importantly, the report depends on the extent of relationship between head teacher and education office. So in this regard, to have a solution, to have actually I have actually brought a theory to make a theoretical flavor in this regard, is Fullan's 6 secrets of change, and I have found the theory is pretty much relevant to this kind of problem. And the theory says about connecting peers with purpose, capacity building, learning, transparency, systematic learning, then loving the employees. So let's have the suggestions, what sort of things we should follow. So all these things from me, and the next will come from my co-author Nazmul Islam Raihan. Thank you very much.
Hello, this is Nazmul Islam. I'm doing the HT at Ankara University, Ankara, Turkey. Before going to my presentation, I would like to thank my co-author Al-Mansor HELAL, and I also thanks to the organizer of CICE for this conference, authority, and everyone. Now I would like to talk about the policy recommendation of our paper, and from the theoretical perspective. Actually, we have suggested the theory from the Fullan's, and it suggests the 6 secret of change for the school management and the leadership in order to primary school governance. For example, like love your employees, connect your peers with purpose, capacity building prevails, learning the work, transparency rules, system learn. This is the main themes for primary school governance and leadership to maintain the management of school and how the leadership capacity building in the school authority. And later I would like to talk about the policy recommendation, what kind of suggestion and what kind of policy we can suggest from the paper and from our findings. First we would like to tell about the balance of authority between head of teachers and since we tell, like one famous political scientist, Lord Actor, stated like this way: the power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That means we believe there should be a framework that draws a jurisdiction, role of responsibility of primary school teachers and head teachers, and it can be minimize the problems between head teachers and school management authority. And we suggest that this is possible if we maintain the balance between the authority, like the authority of head of teachers and authority of school management committee. And the second thing we suggest for example, second thing we suggest the enhanced check and balance, check and balance between head of teachers and school management authority. For example, this kind of management, it can be depend on the circumstances. What is the circumstances in the school and what is the circumstance of the management authority, and it can be take school management. They it's the primary stakeholder to maintain the school management, and in that case, head of the teacher, they should maintain their relations between the authority, between the school management, between the school governance. And the third, we said the effective use of parental teachers association. There are some associations which think that in the school committee, this kind of association should to be effective, like a parental teachers association, and it can be effective there should be a meetings, and it can be depend on regular basis to involve the parents in the governance process as well. And here the school management committee members as well as the education officers need to attend this meeting, and parents need to know the progress report of their children, their kids, how they are progressing in the school, and how their future is governed by the school committee and also the head teachers. And there should be a effective use of this kind of committee or association, or what we say this parental teachers association. And the fourth, we say the effective external supervision. This is the last things we recommended for our findings, on the behalf of our findings, like effective external supervision. How it can be used, like a teamwork. The team needs to have a meeting with the school management committee and parental teacher association people, so that no gap between stakeholders come into place. And it should be remembered that there needs to be a regular and frequent visit to a higher education office with no prior notice of arrival. And this external team is the key instrument for making connection between parental-teacher association, head of teachers, and school management committee in order to ensure a much fairer and effective governance process. And we suggest that this kind of external supervision and engagement with other bodies of the school will make inter-school governance more transparent and make school management committee and parental teacher association would feel more valued. And in that last, we suggest that we would like to reiterate that there needs to be a structure framework which will give room for the school management committee and parental teacher association to function, and education officers should work with head of teachers as well as other two stakeholders to shoot a better governance system. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone.